Happy Harry. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Well, Harry certainly looks a fellow that's full of the joys of life, isn't he? You'll have seen in the other video, but I'll repeat it here, the photograph that found its way to the Daily Mail, which showed Lieutenant Doria taking a picture, arms in the air, unidentified woman in background. Interestingly, somebody who looks a little bit like Harry's wife's doppelganger at the front. Harry's wife flinging her hands around like the pissed up ninja that she is, and then Harry looking like he's just shat himself at the beginning of the concert and realised he's going to have to stand there with pooey pads all the way through. Or that he realises that he's been brought along to a concert to watch an artist that he thoroughly can't stand, and he has to put up with his wife's caterwauling in his ear, and his wife's doppelganger repeatedly turning around and saying, "Are you enjoying yourself, Harry?" He looks like there are a million other places he'd rather be. He looks like he'd rather listen to James Blunt singing "You're Beautiful" on repeat. But of course, a photograph might just catch him at a bad moment. It's just one moment in many. Who knows, in the next breath, Harry might have been jumping around, pogoing, laughing his head off, grinning like a manic, eat-up Cheshire cat, enjoying the concert, shaking his thang, getting into some snake hip moves. Well, we can see from another picture that has appeared where he is looking straight at the person that's taking his photograph that he really isn't happy. At that juncture, Harry's wife is there wearing her aluminium foil by Reynolds Wrap still, hands on hips, looking over in the direction of the action, as is mostly everybody else, and they're now being joined by a rather large fellow. Don't know if he's a bodyguard or somebody else that's in their party, no idea who he is. If you know, feel free to tell me in the comments. But look at Harry, staring down the camera lens as if to say, "Who you fucking looking at, you slag?" He's not happy. So, although it might be stated that the original photograph just caught him in a bad moment, it would appear that he really isn't enjoying himself, that he really isn't happy to be there. Now, some of you might be wondering, why is it that every time these two go out, Mother Doria is often there? Well, on this occasion, apparently it was part of the celebrations for her 67th birthday. However, she's often there because Harry's wife utilises her for the purpose of triangulating Harry to keep him in line. It's interesting as well that if you look at this, it's a box which will probably carry about 10 or so, and it's not exactly packed out with friends, is it? You've got a box to see, I think, the opening night of the Renaissance tour by Beyonce. That's a big draw. Presumably, you'd have plenty of friends that would be coming along with you. Not the case for the Sussexes, is it? They brought the doppelganger in her scale mail, brought Lieutenant Doria, the other lady who I don't know who she is, and then the burly fellow also. And that's it. So they don't have many friends, which is not a surprise, is it? Probably the individual that's being shown is some kind of stylist or photographer or nail technician or so. Apparently he was really loving life, that he was thoroughly enjoying himself in California. Really looks like it, doesn't it? He looks completely miserable and is in a completely foul mood. The fact is that Harry isn't happy, and here we see it again. And notice he doesn't really seem to care who sees it as well. Maybe he's thinking to himself, bummer, I've just seen the latest ratings for Heart of Invictus and they stink. And that's what's put him in a bad mood. But the fact is, Harry isn't happy. It's been seen that he isn't enjoying himself attending this concert, that he isn't having a good time. He looks stressed, he looks depressed. He doesn't look like he's actually at a gig. And also notice, other than the burly fellow who might be some kind of bodyguard, the fact is that he doesn't appear to be enjoying himself. And where are his male friends? But contrast all of this with the way that he looked when he was away from Harry's wife, when he was in Japan and Singapore. Contrast it with the appearances that he made with Nacho Figueras, where he seemed far happier, and so many other people talked about how they saw glimpses of the Harry how he used to be. The fact is, Harry's surrounded by people that he ultimately isn't that bothered about being with because they're probably not his friends. That he's cheesed off as well because he's only wearing grey rather than tin foil. And he really doesn't actually want to be there. I suspect that he's been dragged along by Harry's wife as part of controlling him, that he's been told he has to go, that they are ensuring that he has been told that he has to go as part of the control of him. He's been triangulated with Doria, also ensures, well, you have to go, Harry, it's for my mum's birthday. And as I mentioned, he looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. And that one picture isn't a one-off, as you can see from the other. He seems absolutely sick to be there. He looks like he's furious to be there. And ultimately, he is not wanting to attend this, but is forced to do so. And this makes a mockery, of course, of the suggestion that he's content and happy in California, because he goes to a concert in a privileged position, in a box, to watch a world-famous, excellent performer, and he looks like somebody has just kicked him in the piles. Might this be actually that they're once again pretending that they are together? Could it be that this is just another facade management by Harry's wife, making it look like they're together, and he's thinking, I'm past caring now? In actual fact, I'm not even going to pretend. Might this be the fact that he just wants to lay low after what's been going on, and instead he's forced to come to this concert to put on this supposed joint appearance? Maybe it's getting to the point where he can't even be bothered with the pretense any longer. He looked far happier when he was with Nacho Figueras. He looked far happier when he was away from his wife. And may it just be that it isn't actually anything to do with the fact of him being at a concert. I suspect that he rather likes Beyoncé's music, but I think it's down to this. He doesn't want to be at something with his wife and the other handler that he has, Doria. And therefore, although we laugh and call him Happy Harry, he's far from it, and now he's not even bothering to hide it any longer. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.